common parlance of the word rape, the jury found that he'd raped this woman. That's a fact. In every sentence ought to be Donald Trump, an adjudicated rapist. Right? This is not normal. And everybody wants to show how in touch they are with the common man. Everybody wants to cover a race. And there's just huge tendency to say, this is Biden's got a record, he's got a vision. Trump's got a record, he's got a vision. Let's go to post and see what happens. No one would say, well, we cut the oil off from Japan in 1941, or the Western colonialists were exploiting Asians, of which they were. So we'll just go ahead and haul off and bomb Pearl Harbor and invade 20 different countries because we had a point. No, you don't. You don't. It's the same thing with Hamas. The Palestinians have a grievance. You're damn right they do. All right? But does that say, is that normal to go out and rape people and cut babies' heads off? Of course it's not. But you just listen and you wait. And there's this whole normalization, and maybe the plummet will go one way and not the other, and something, and Trump will come back, and you know what? Well, John Kelly confirmed. All right, we knew it was true because we knew he told Jeffrey Goldberg. It was no secret. He came out and said all of this. The commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of the United States said people that served in the Armed Forces were suckers. Well, we wonder why recruitment is down. We know he's got a lot of following. I don't know. That's not normal. It's not to say we over-deploy troops and we get involved in too much foreign adventurism. That's normal. We should have international treaties and NATO and CETO and whatever else. That's normal. Questioning the use of American power is normal. Mocking people who serve in the military is not fucking normal, and it shouldn't be treated that way at all. It's not an alternative view. And we fall in, we lapsing into it. You can see it. The Jason Miller is down there in Iowa in a hotel Fort Des Moines holding court with all of the reporters writing everything that he says down and, going to lunch. And, it's just another campaign. It's like being with Karl Rove. No, it's not. Not at all. And these people are chicken shit. They don't understand history. And we have to do a job of calling them out and mocking them. His speech he was mad. She stayed in. All right. Her speech was actually, I have very little respect for her political skills. But that was, I think, the best speech I'd ever seen to give it. I watched snippets of it. I couldn't watch the whole thing. And by his standards, it was even more crazy. Please don't get me started on Tim Scott because I'd rather not go. I'd rather not go there. Okay, I mean, good God, but I think Haley is thinking, yeah, I'm not going to win this thing, but something could happen to him, something physically, legally, something. And I think she's saying, you got to go with me. I was out there with voters. You can't go the backroom way. And I think she thinks there's a 2% chance she'd get the nomination, which would be exaggerated. But there is some chance, and why not just be the last one standing and, and say, so Trump gets the nomination. Of course, he's convicted, and we find out so much more about him than we already know. And then in 2028, she becomes the I told you so candidate. So her hanging around is actually, there's some political reason for it. She has some money, and she's in South Carolina, just Croker, but that's 31 days. I didn't realize that. We got another month to go before we get to South Carolina. My memory, I couldn't give, but that's a long gap time between New Hampshire and, you know, and you know, there's still some football left to play, and I think her hanging around at some level actually makes some sense. I want her to go through South Carolina for one simple reason. I want to see more of Tim Scott, and I want to see more of Tim Scott's wife to be. Maybe we'll find out some things here. All right. I cannot get enough of Tim Scott. Last night, with his trying, well, first of all, you, all right, everybody in politics is practical. Everybody in politics looks out for themselves. That's the nature of the system works. She appointed him. He didn't exist without her. All right. And I could see that, well, I could call her and say, look, Governor, I owe everything to you, but I got to stay viable politically. Trump is just too popular. He got out of his way to be part of the whole Trump anti-Nikki Haley stuff. And if you looked at him last night, he kept trying to get in the picture. Trump would move his head one way, and Scott would move his head the other way. And then when Trump called up Vivek and gave him 1 minute, and he didn't bring up Scott, you can see the guy was all, it was crestfallen. I think he's become such a character of the modern Republican Party. And, as I say, I want to see more of him, and I want to see more of this bride to be. The preliminary stuff that I'm hearing is she might have had some issues, but let's let these develop over a period of time.